Hi, this is Akram Ramini from Asset Development Training. We are here regarding to our webinar for the National Rehabilitation Capacity Building for Syrian and Jordanian victim of conflict. For sure, most of the attendance, I can see a good number here, that this project is funded by State Department WRA. Since 2013, and we still ongoing 2017. In fact, I need just only to have a couple of minutes from your time to give you just only a little bit information about our project and what we are doing. And then I'll pass the mic to Mr. Mahir and also with Dr. Anibin. So the Polo Center for Social and Economic Development and Asset Development Training, we are here currently in this project addressing the rehabilitation needs of war-wounded Syrian refugees in Jordan and the capacity building for the Syrian and Jordanian victim of conflicts. The primary goal of this project is to work in partnership with rehabilitation professional and para-professional to build Jordan and Syrian national rehabilitation capacity, to improve the physical and psychological services for refugees who are victims of conflict within the Levant, and helping victims of conflict to regain their mobility and dignity, and to increase their self-confidence. Actually, our program, we have several training, starting from the B&O, the physical therapy, the trauma support. So I'm gonna let you a little bit have some information about our project, more about the B&O training and the follow-up with the patient, fitting amputees. So Mr. Maher Ode, it's yours now, so please feel free to talk about anything that you would like to give our attendants here and information about the training course.
Yes. Hello, everybody. My name is Maher Ouda. I'm a certified B&O prosthetics and orthotics instructor. I'm handling one of the programs of the National Rehabilitation Capacity Building for Syrian and Jordanian victims of conflict. We started the training of the prosthetic program January 2017. Actually, we started with the theoretical training concerning the main subjects of the prosthetics, like anatomy, gait deviation, casting techniques, socket types, something like this. And then we started assessment with the patient, casting, measuring, modification, the whole working process. So we concentrate in our program more actually on the quality of service provided to the cases, to the needies, more than quantities. We have actually 3 Syrian trainees and 3 Jordanian trainees. And now we're going to start in the next stage, I mean, of the training. We're going to start with the theoretical again as a revision to what we have done, and then we will start a new technique, which is the ischial containment for the above knee amputations. So we will interview that through some lectures, and then we'll start with our cases, our patients, providing this service, and we continue also the follow-up for the cases who are already receive their service. So we are working, I mean, providing service, new procedures for new patients, and we are doing also follow-up for the old cases who had received their things. We work for children. Actually, we concentrate also for children. Sometimes we need to make some adaptation to the program, to the plan of the program as the needs of the cases. For example, we got some cases who need orthotics, so we had to do orthotics. So we had to adapt the program to provide this service also during our program.
So, Maher, please feel free if you would like, Mr. Maher, to add anything else. Let's say if there is any kind of need for a future plan, next year, this year, what's your plan, let's say, also for the kids? Is the kids, let's say, need to follow up each 6 months, 8 months, 1 year? What is the need mainly?
Yes, this is
the procedures.
This is a very important. This is a very important point. Actually, not only the children they need to renew their prosthesis, their orthosis. Actually, maybe every 10 months or something like this. Even the adults, when they are new amputees, we provide them with the first prosthesis, and they need a lot of training, physiotherapy, walking training, walking education. And then in most of the cases, there's a lot of changes happens to the stump volume, shrinking or gaining weight or losing weight when they start to be active. So in this case, we need to renew prosthesis. So the need is something constant, and we need still to work with them for a longer time. Yeah.
Okay. So please, anybody from the attendance, if he had any question for Mr. Maher, please feel free. The mic is yours, guys, if you have any question. So, okay, that's great. Okay, that's good. So, yes?
I was going to ask, how many children do you work with currently?
Well, children until now, since January until May, we are working about with 25 cases approximately. Adults there's about 17 to 20 تقريبا, approximately.
So far.
Yeah. And still we are running the program. We have still waiting lists. We have still cases who are waiting still for the service.
I have a question.
Please.
Of the children you're now working with, how many of them are living in camps, and how many of them may live with friends or relatives in Amman or elsewhere in Jordan?
Yeah, some of them in the camps, in sanitary camps, and some of them in centers and rehabilitation centers here in Amman, and some of them they are in houses. So we can say they are equal as a percentage, and approximately they are equal.
And can you tell me what a typical treatment would look like in terms of how many visits the children would make to the rehabilitation centers over what period of time?
Yeah, actually, before we start working with them as a prosthetic program, they need to go through the physical therapy and trauma, and now Dr. Nadim will talk about that before they come to us. The case has to be prepared before we touch the case. from the physiotherapist and from the trauma counseling. And then once we receive the case, it depends on the case. Some of them, if they have used prosthesis before and orthosis before, so we need approximately 3 to 4 visits between measuring, casting, and trial and finishing, fitting, something like this. About 3 to 4 visits. But some of them, when they are for the first time, they are going to use prosthesis, they will need more. After we give them the prosthesis, also that we need to make follow-up adjustments, something like this.
And just a follow-up question. This is Stephen Pedagorski speaking. Hello to you, Akram and Maher. I'm wondering, because I have visited you in Jordan a number of times and seen some children who at first were missing limbs, and then it seemed many, many months or even a year before they might be fitted for a prosthesis. Can you tell me what are some of the issues that would determine the length of time before somebody who first comes into Jordan visits you and then may later receive a prosthesis?
Well, the more they stay without prosthesis, the more it is complicated when we start. I mean the longer treatment time we need, because when they are amputated and they didn't receive their prosthesis immediately, and they stay on wheelchairs for months, as you said, they will have another complications like contractures, muscle contractures, joints limitations, infections, something like this. So the longer they stay without the service, the more complicated the process becomes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Maher,
You're welcome.
for your time, even though. So please, if you would like to have a sit there. Okay. So excuse me now. It's a time for also one of our team professional. Actually, she's a prof, Dr. Niveen. She's gonna be talking about the program and the trauma support. It seems that she had to prepare several papers. So forgive us for the time that she's gonna be taking so far.
No, just take 5 minutes.
So Dr. Naveen, please, the mic is yours. So feel free, please.
Hi, first of all, I am Naveen Buzaid, working with this great family as a part of them. I work with them as psychologist and responsible of the psychological support. We talk about our project or our plans before in the first webinar in details. I will not go through that again.
Yes.
If there's any questions later, I will answer. But okay, as a brief. We prepared for the first year a very, let us say, good team as a caregiver. They work hard with us in all the centers, all over the field centers we work with. For now, I just want to concentrate on now. Our plan was for the last 3 months to include the art therapy for the kids in Syria across borders, which include painting and drawing with an artist from our team even, to upgrading kids' skill in expression and acting out ways. She started the course with 3 group sessions where all of our trainee and the team was with us. Then they joined her in the same session. After that, she asked all of the trainee to keep her alone. She works with the kids in private ways, so they can have this private or close relation with her. To upgrading their skill and expression, and to have this bridge between the artist or the therapist and the kids. 2 of 4 was really interested in that. So we need to work in something else. So our plan for the next 3 months is to work with them by another model in another becoming three months, because we are trying to apply something fit the majority, and that will based on their need. As noticed, there's deeply need to care about personal hygiene, so they will work with this project. They will have a new course to produce something they can use daily, like soap or something. We will talk about that in details when we start the next webinar, I think.
Third one's gonna be.
Just this is the main idea. For the same center in Suryat, across border, we have even the adults. We had a twin therapy, where we just talk about that before short time, and we in our opinion we celebrated all of the work before in this therapy, where the cases was really feeling free to talk about everything happened and all of their stories. This therapy or this course empower them to have the chance to not to acting out anymore, just to talk truly and deeply what they had before and what happened to them. All of our courses what involved them had the chances to tell us their story smoothly, and that will evaluate their level now, and how they, let us say, the progress. We will check the progress by how smoothly they talk about their story, and that's what happened in twin therapy. We learned from them. They talk so much. They give us all the details about all the let us say the details in their life from that first minute in Jordan till now, and they evaluate all the services they have in the centers. The trainee took a place in front of all of them to answer all the questions and give lesson in life, in physiotherapy and psychotherapy. Yes. For Salam Center even, we had another course, while we have 150 kids or preschool children. They teach them 5 years, they all around 5 years. They teach them and to prepare them for formal learning or for the next formal year in school. We use puppet to tell stories, to tell them those what is the really and the true behavior they have to do, or they have to behave, or how they have to behave in this time. Then we talk about that for 10 minutes. They have the reinforcement. We apply the reinforcement to check or to talk about, or to encourage them to modify their behavior. For Badr Center, we have another kind of courses, because we have a new target by having a new 18 to 20 kids between 6 to 13 years old. We applied a variety of techniques, where we have art therapy and a lot of exercises and activities to motivate them or encourage them to play and work. To motivate them to play and work for psychological support. It's our goal to make them concentrate more, to make them can talk smoothly, can act and do all what they can do to, let us say, to acting out. And that's all for this short time between the two webinars and 3 centers we had here in Jordan. Thank you for give me this time, and I am ready for any question.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Niveen. I'm sure actually what we are doing here is huge. Just only we have a few minutes to talk about it, but on the ground that takes a long time and hard to work, almost more than 8 hours a day with the kids, with the adults, with the 3 centers that we had around between Al Badr Center and the Suriat Cross Border Center and also Al Salam Center, which is actually going to be a good experience for everybody to join us and to have any kind of questions. So feel free if anyone had any question.
Yes, hi Akram, it's Stephen again. Hello. I'm wondering, we have seen many of the wonderful paintings that the children have done, and I'm wondering if there's any way to say what the typical time period would be between when you first see the children, when they first have made the paintings that seem to reflect upon their experience in Syria during the war, and then when they later make the paintings that seem to express their hopes for the future. What kind of time periods are typical in those paintings and the distances?
Anyone, they need 6 months to 1 year.
I'm sorry, can you say it again? I couldn't hear.
6 months to 12 months or around 1 year. It depends on them. If they are talent, you know, they need short time, and it will not be less than 6 months. And if they need help and everything, they don't know anything about lines, about colors, about anything, they need around 1 year.
Between the first paintings and the second ones, you mean?
Yes,
Excuse me. That's when they start painting to have a very nice picture so far. It's gonna be the need between 6 months to 1 year. But now your question is gonna be the first painting and second painting. So here's the answer from Victoria Nibin again.
Yes. Next webinar, we promise all the audience now to show them for the first 6 months what we have from them. We have just lines, how they make parallel line and they draw between. For the first 6 months, they do nothing as the real thing. After 6 to 8 months, they start have one thing they draw. Sometimes we put one glass to let them do like that, just like this, or to copy something.
Mm-hmm.
But after 1 year, around when it depends on their skills, they start have the first paint. First paint it starts around 1 year, and even it depends on them how what the time they need for each paint. So between the first and the second, it depends on the artist.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And confidence on themselves, and for sure, which is I saw by dealing with the kids. I saw actually we have some kids that they have 3 paints during 1 month. Some of them they have 1 paint during 6 months. Some of them, but this is after the 1 year. This is after the 1 year, of course.
I see. I think that when people who are not familiar with this work that you're doing see the paintings, it's very striking for them to see one, that expresses some of the horrible things that they experienced, and then another that with so much joy may express their hopes about the future. And I think they will often wonder, what is the time period between when they would make, the paintings about the horrors they've seen and then the ones that are more hopeful.
Yeah, for sure you are right, but also we have our consideration that not all the kids, like let's say a Salam Center, we have 100 almost, just only in one place in Amman, we have their center, they have 150 kids. That's not the 150 kids they are gonna do painting. There is almost maybe between 20 to 30 kids that they love to do some paint. The others, they have their own things to do. But we are concentrate with all of them. What is the need for all of them? For sure, our project, frankly, we cannot cover all of that. And this is what we are looking for the future, to find any more donors to support all those kids. In the same time, with the BNO doesn't, it's not enough for us. We have a list of patients that we cannot cover all of them. Our main goal started is to train and then to fit patients and PTs. So we cannot cover all patients from Jordan, the Syrian, even the Jordanian. So in the same thing with the trauma support and the art therapy and the musical therapy, the yoga, it's impossible that we say that we can support the 150 kids during our project. But we can get with them, we start to understand more and more about what they need. We had actually planned and put their confidence in themselves again back to their life. Now you can communicate with them easily without any difficulties, like when they arrive to Jordan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Even the very big between the adults and the children. For the adults, they are a part of our program. They know they are in trauma counseling program or project for that. But for the kids, we start as a regular painting courses. They don't know that they have this difference in their painting. They start to upgrading their painting in drawing or painting. And then we start this relation, this close relation, to let them express their feelings by drawing, by painting, by this way. So we don't know when they will start, then we have this relation. And even after they have the skills to express.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Dr. Niveen. Any question? Any more question, please?
Yes, this is Sam Copeland, and I'm curious about this this research project that this recent research project that you're doing with Boston Children's about radicalization and trauma. And I'm just curious, you know, does it take place in the same facilities as the rehabilitation? And just are these two activities really separated from each other, or are you doing them or planning on doing them sort of simultaneously?
If you are asking about just Basel is different case.
In general.
Basel is a really different case. He has his special case, let us say. Generally, our training courses separated. If you look from outside, from inside, there's a bridge between all the cases, and the feedback from each one will plan for the other.
Yep.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Any other question? Please feel free. Okay, so thank you, everybody. So maybe a few things I would like to add here based on our project. That our project actually, it's we made it to be all training that's linked to each other. Without that, there isn't any benefit or any beneficiaries, if not. So it had to be. Because at the end, the beneficiaries, this is our actually our goal. So please, if you have any kind of question, anybody, before closing the webinar. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll keep you posted for the third webinar, which is going to be during July. And the fourth webinar going to be during September. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.